Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Nika and I make book related videos, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all the exciting 12 books that have been recommended by my 12 friends to read throughout this year. So I came across this idea online on Bookstagram, and it's a tag 12 books by 12 friends. I am not sure who came up with this one. I definitely am not the original creator of it, so I want to put it out there. But I have all the 12 books. I did take some time in deciding the books that I want to read. Out of all these 12 books, I have 3 of these books physically with me. The rest, um, 9, I don't have them yet. I have not even checked if they are available on Everend, the app that I use for reading books online, ebooks as well as audiobooks. So that's that. But so far I have 3 books and I intend to start with those because I've, like I mentioned, have been mentioning in the previous videos, one of my goals this year is to reduce my physical TBR, read more from the books that I own, as you can see, which is a lot. So that's what I've been doing. So without further ado, let's start and see what these 12 books are. I also want to mention that I made this spread and I'll include bits of it in the video. So basically, I have been really devotedly updating my reading journal this year, and this is what I came up with. I have very high hopes. I've also decorated a lot of the other pages, which you'll see in probably another video. Bojo, so keep an eye out for that. But this is my 12 books by 12 friends page, and as you can see, there are 12 books here which I'll be talking about today. So, all right, let's start with the first one. The first book that was recommended to me was by The Empty Cartridge, or you might know her as Sukanya, and she recommended Nectar in the Sieve by Kamala Markandeya. Let me share the synopsis with you. Married as a child bride to a tenant farmer she never met, Rukmani works side by side in the field with her husband to wrest the living from a land ravaged by droughts, monsoons, and insects. With remarkable fortitude and courage, she meets changing times and fights poverty and disaster. This beautiful and eloquent story tells of a simple peasant woman in a primitive village in India whose whole life is a gallant and persistent battle to care for those she loves, an unforgettable novel that will wring your heart out. It has been named as a notable book of 1955 by the American Library Association. So this is the first book, and I am very excited to read it. And this is also one of the books that I actually own. So I have high hopes for this one. So the second book that was recommended to me was by the dancing bibliophile, Pajakta, and she recommended What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Ayoma. So this has been translated by Alison Watts, and it's an international bestseller. Let me share the synopsis. For fans of The Midnight Library and Before the Coffee Gets Cold, this charming Japanese novel shows how the perfect book recommendation can change a reader's life. What are you looking for? This is a famous question routinely asked by Tokyo's most enigmatic librarian, Sayuri Komachi. Like most librarians, Komachi has read every book lining her shelves, but she also has the unique ability to read the souls of her library guests. For anyone who walks through her door, Komachi can sense exactly what they're looking for in life and provide just the book recommendation they never knew they needed to help them find it. Each visitor comes to her library from a different juncture in their careers and dreams, from the restless sales attendant who feels stuck at her job to the struggling working mother who longs to be a magazine editor. The conversations they have with Sayuri and the surprise book she lends each of them will have life altering consequences. With heartwarming charm and wisdom, what you are looking for in the library is a paean to the magic of libraries, friendship, and community, perfect for anyone who has ever found themselves at an impasse in their life and in need of a little inspiration. So that's the second book. Again, I really wanted to read it for the January in Japan reading challenge, but I never got around to it because I was firstly on a trip and then I got sick and then I had to come back home to recuperate. So that's sad. But I really want to read this book this year and I might, pick it up in March itself. So let's see. Right, moving on. The third book that I have here was recommended to me by All That Is Simant, and it is Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. Here's the synopsis. Kitchen is an enchantingly original and deeply affecting book about mothers, love, tragedy, and the power of the kitchen and home in the lives of a pair of free-spirited young women in contemporary Japan. Mikage, the heroine of Kitchen, is an orphan raised by her grandmother, who has passed away. Grieving, she is taken in by her friend Yoichi and his mother, who was once his father, Eriko. As the three of them form an improvised family that soon weathers its own tragic losses, Yoshimoto spins a lovely evocative tale that recalls early Margaret Duras. Kitchen and its companion story, Moonlight Shadow, are elegant tales whose whose seeming simplicity is the ruse of a writer whose voice echoes in the mind and the soul. So that's the third book, and I have heard a lot of things about this book, so I am really excited to read this book. All right, so next I have a book recommendation by Coffee Time Reviews by Eliza Rita, and I am very very excited for this one because this was a book that I was actually looking forward to reading, but I never got around to it. It is Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. Miri thinks she has got her wife back when Leah returns finally after a deep sea mission that ended in catastrophe. It soon becomes clear, though, that Leah is not the same. Whatever happened to that vessel, whatever it was they were supposed to be studying before they were stranded on the seafloor, Leah has brought part of it back with her onto dry land and into their home. Moving through something that only resembles normal life, Miri comes to realize the life that they had before might be gone. Though Leah is still there, Miri can feel the woman she loves slipping from her grasp. Our Wives Under the Sea is a debut novel from Julia Armfield, the critically acclaimed author of Salt Slow. It's a story of falling in love, loss, grief, and what life there is in the deep, deep sea. So, I have heard a lot about this book, and again, I mean, all of these books are books that I've chosen. I mean, I put up a story on Instagram saying that this is a challenge I want to do, so I asked different people for different opinions. I got a lot of them, but at the end, of course, I picked up books based on two criteria: books that I own, which were three, and books that I personally really am intrigued to read. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to force myself also too much to read books that I am not that excited to read. Right, so that's what I did, and I am very, very happy with this selection. Moving on, the next book that I have was recommended to me by Bookish Dia Ipshita, and it is Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. This story is about a woman called Martha. She knows there is something wrong with her, but she doesn't know what it is. Her husband Patrick thinks she is fine. He says everyone has something. The thing is just to keep going. Martha told Patrick before they got married that she didn't want to have children. He said he didn't mind either way because he has loved her since he was 14 and making her happy is all that matters, although he does not seem able to do it. By the time Martha finds out what is wrong, it doesn't really matter anymore. It is too late to get the only thing she has ever wanted. Or maybe it will turn out that you can stop loving someone and start again from nothing if you find something else to want. That was a very, very kind of diabolical, confusing synopsis, but I've heard it's one of the best books out there. It deals a lot with love, loss, all of these things mentioned here. So I have high hopes for this one. But again, this is me saying the same thing about all of the books, so take a shot every time I say that. But yeah, really, really excited for this book, and I also think the cover is really pretty. Moving on, I have another book that was gifted to me by a friend. So I have this book physically. It was a Diwali gift from Shivani, and I'm really, really grateful to her for this. It is How to Kill Your Family by Bella McKay. I have killed several people, some brutally, others calmly, and yet I currently languish in jail for a murder I did not commit. When I think about what I actually did, I feel somewhat sad that nobody will ever know about the complex operation that I undertook. Getting away with it is highly preferable, of course, but perhaps when I'm long gone, someone will open an old safe and find this confession. The public would reel. After all, almost nobody else in the world can possibly understand how someone, by the tender age of 28, can have calmly killed six members of a family, and then happily got on with the rest of her life, never to regret a thing. When Grace Bernard discovers her absentee millionaire father has rejected her dying mother's pleas for help, she vows revenge and sets about to kill every member of his family. Readers have a front row seat as Grace picks off the family one by one, and the result is as and gruesome as it is entertaining in this wickedly dark romp about class, family, love, and murder. But then Grace is imprisoned for a murder she didn't commit. Outrageously funny, compulsive, and subversive, perfect for fans of Killing Eve and My Sister the Serial Killer. Now, I loved Killing Eve a lot, so I think I am really gonna enjoy this book as well. So let's see. I mean, again, the title is really, really intriguing. So I am eager to see how it goes, and I just hope it doesn't have a really sad ending. I just hope it remains dark and funny, because I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, she's already killed so many people, so I don't know. But anyway, moving on. The next book that I want to discuss was a birthday gift from my friends Prerna and Anjali, and I'm again really, really thankful to them for this. So this is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwake Emezi. And even though I got it way back last year, I still haven't read it. So I really want to get to it this year. And I think this challenge will definitely be helpful in that. So here's the synopsis. So, this is a fresh and seductive novel about a young woman seeking joy while healing from loss. Faye Adikola wants to learn how to be alive again. It's been 5 years since the accident that killed the love of her life, and she's almost a new person now. An artist with her own studio and sharing a brownstone apartment with her ride or die best friend Joy, who insists it's time for Faye to ease back into the dating scene. Faye isn't ready for anything serious, but a steamy encounter at a rooftop party cascades into a whirlwind summer she could have never imagined. A luxury trip to a tropical island, decadent meals in the glamorous home of a celebrity chef, and a major curator who wants to launch her art career. She's even started dating the perfect guy. But that new relationship might be sabotaged before it has a chance by the dangerous thrill Faye feels every time she locks eyes with the one person in the house who is most definitely off limits. This new life she asks for just got a lot more complicated, and Faye must begin her search for real answers. Who is she ready to become? Can she release her past and honor her grief while still embracing her future? And of course, that's the biggest question of all. How far is she willing to go for a second chance at love? Akweke Imezi's vivid and passionate writing takes us deep into a world of possibility and healing, and the constant bravery of choosing love against all odds. So when I first came across this book, I thought that this was going to be dark humor, dark comedy, all of that. But then I have seen that it has also been quite often described as a romance book. So I think it's going to be somewhere between romance and literary fiction. So I'm excited to read it. And this is actually the first time that I've read the synopsis. Go me. So I am definitely intrigued, and I hope to read it very, very soon. And let me know if you've read this book, any of these books really, in this video, and what you thought about them, because I am really, really intrigued. And so far, even though it's February, I have not read even one of these books. So I need to get to them soon. And I would be very, very happy if you let me know what you think about them. Alright, so the next book that was recommended to me by Shelf Admirer Mridula was What You Are Going Through by Sigrid Nunez. Again, let me share the synopsis with you all. A woman describes a series of encounters she has with various people in the ordinary course of her life. An ex she runs into by chance at a public forum, an Airbnb owner unsure how to interact with her guests, a stranger who seeks help comforting his elderly mother, a friend of her youth now hospitalized with terminal cancer. In each of these people, the woman finds a common need: the urge to talk about themselves and to have an audience to their experiences. The narrator orchestrates this chorus of voices for the most part as a passive listener until one of them makes an extraordinary request, drawing her into an intense and transformative experience of her own. In What You Are Going Through, Nunez brings wisdom, humor, and insight to a novel about human connection and the changing nature of relationships in our times. A surprising story about empathy and the unusual ways one person can help another through hardship, this book offers a moving and provocative portrait of the way we live now. So I think I first thought this was going to be a non-fiction read, but it's definitely not a non-fiction read. And from what I've seen so far, I've seen quite a bit of it on Instagram, and I really, really like it. So yeah, I am, again, like I said, mentioned, I have been saying for all of these books, I'm excited to read them and see how it turns out. Moving on, the next book that was recommended to me was by Perfectionist Gayatri, one of my oldest friends on Bookstagram, and it is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, whom you might also known as the author of The 10,000 Doors of January, right? So yeah, let me give you a synopsis, share a synopsis of Starling House. A grim and gothic new tale from author Alex E. Harrow about a small town haunted by secrets that can't stay buried and a sinister house that sits at the crossroads of it all. Eden, Kentucky is just another dying bad luck town, known only for the legend of E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author and illustrator who wrote The Underland and disappeared. Before she vanished, Starling House appeared, but everyone agrees that it's best to let the uncanny house and its last lonely heir, Arthur Starling, go to rot. Opal knows better than anyone to mess with the haunted houses or brooding men, but an unexpected job offer might be a chance to get her brother out of Eden. Too quickly though, Starling House starts to feel dangerously like something she's never had, a home. As sinister forces converge on Starling House, Opal and Arthur are going to have to make a dire choice to dig up the buried secrets of the past and confront their own fears, or let Eden be taken over by literal nightmares. If Opal wants a home, she'll have to fight for it. Now, I really, really want to read it, and again, it's a gothic fairy tale from what I've heard. So I am excited to read it because I think whenever fairy tales are given this kind of gothic twist to them with, you know, perhaps a sentient house, haunted house, it always takes a very, very interesting turn. So I am eager to read this book as well and let you know what I thought. Again, if you have read any of these books or if you plan to read any of these books, then do let me know. We can do a buddy read, or if you share your thoughts, that I can perhaps read them and then discuss with you after I'm done reading this book. So next move on. This was recommended to me by TR Writer at Work, and I'm really, really excited for this one. It's Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto. Put the kettle on. There's a mystery brewing. Tea shop owner, matchmaker, detective. 60-year-old self-proclaimed tea expert Vera Wong enjoys nothing more than sipping a good cup of oolong and doing some healthy detective work on the internet, aka checking up on her son to see if he's dating anybody yet. But when Vera Wong wakes up one morning to find a dead man in the middle of a tea shop, it's going to take more than a strong longing to fix things. Knowing she'll do a better job than the police possibly could because nobody sniffs out a wrongdoing quite like a suspicious Chinese mother with time on her hands, Vera decides it's down to her to catch the killer. Nobody spills the tea like this amateur sleuth. So this sounds like a cozy, fun mystery, and I am here for it because I think this year is definitely the year when I want to read all of these kind of cozy mysteries. Again, I will probably go back to reading Agatha Christie as well, maybe Miss Marple. So yeah, really, really excited for that. Now, moving on, the next book was recommended to me by my dear friend Annie, and we did our bachelor's together back in the day. I feel it's been quite a long time, from 2017 to 2020. I think she was one of the best persons I've met in that time. We studied together, and it was such a healthy friendship. We really inspired each other. She definitely really inspired me, and I am happy that she also chimed in and let me know what she thought I should read this year. And I have decided to give it a try. This is a fantasy book, and it's The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is from a duet, the Nightborn duet. This is book one, and it's a Crowns of Nyaxia novel. I have read none, so I have kind of I might say something wrong, but if you know anything about this book, then let me know. Human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the nightborn vampire king, Oriya, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kejari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all three vampire houses. To survive, Oriya is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He's a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Soraya most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. There's going to be some amazing enemies to lovers romance, I think. But there's no room for compassion in the Kejari. War for the House of Night brews and shattering everybody that Oriah thought she knew about her home. And Rain may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. The Serpent and the Wings of Night is the first book in a new series of heart-wrenching romance, dark magic, and bloodthirsty intrigue, perfect for fans of From Blood and Ash and A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'm very excited because I am a big fan of both of these books that were just mentioned, and I trust Annie's advice for anything fantasy, romance, romantasy. So yeah, I'm excited to read this book, and the fact that this is just a duet, so there's going to be two books duology, definitely makes me feel ready to try even. And it doesn't matter if these are big books as well, because I have commitment issues when they are really big books, long series. So that's an issue, and that's why I'm very glad that this is just a duology. So yeah, then let's move on to the last book in this 12 books by 12 friends tag. So the last book that was recommended to me was by Not Just Fiction, that is Charby, and it is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joanne He. So here's the synopsis. C has been trapped on an abandoned island for 3 years without any recollection of how she arrived or memories from her prior life. All she knows is that somewhere out there beyond the horizon, she has a sister named Kay, and it's up to C to cross the ocean and find her. In a world apart, 16-year-old STEM prodigy Casey Mizuhara lives in an eco-city built for people who protected the planet and now need protecting from it. With natural disasters on the rise due to climate change, eco-cities provide clean water, shelter, air. Yeah. Their residents in exchange must spend at least a third of their time in STASI spots, conducting business virtually whenever possible to reduce their environmental footprint. While Casey, an introvert and loner, doesn't mind the lifestyle, her sister Celia hated it. Popular and lovable, Celia much preferred the outside world. But no one could have predicted that Celia would take a boat out to sea, never to return. Now it's been 3 months since Celia's disappearance, and Casey has given up hope. Logic says that her sister must be dead, but nevertheless, she decides to retrace Celia's last steps. Where they lead her, she does not know. Her sister was full of secrets, but Casey has a secret of her own. So, really, really excited to read it. And yeah, those are all the 12 books that have been recommended to me by my friends, and I am so very thankful that they chimed in and shared their opinions. And I am definitely going to read these books and see what I think of them. Again, I'm very, very excited for these books. So, yeah, I'll give you an update very soon. And I hope I have a good time reading them. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts. And if you have any of these books on your TBR for this year, hit me up and we can definitely do a buddy read. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in another one. Until then, take care. Peace out. Bye guys. Good night, because it's night here and I am finally going to sleep now that the last to do of my day has been checked off. So yeah, see you again in another video, and press on the thumbs up icon if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you very, very soon. Love you all. Bye.